I often tell my clients you can't rush healing. The body will heal when the body is healed. It doesn't matter what you do to try to force that healing. Doesn't matter what you have to get back to, work, sport, home. Doesn't matter. The body will heal, thoroughly heal when it's healed. Now, you can bypass that. You definitely can force it. It'll cost you, you'll pay the price later on, but the body heals when it heals. The interesting thing is, emotionally, you can't ignore, suppress, repress, non expressed emotions forever. That thing, though, those emotions will show up in ways many, many years later that you never anticipated, cause you to indulge in behaviors that you once thought deplorable or at the least unacceptable by somebody in your family. And here you are repeating the same thing. Here you are just popping off. Here you are crashing out because you can't get control of your emotions. It's the same thing. You must heal your emotional self, the things and the places where you don't really want to talk about. And interestingly enough, why some people find counseling so ineffective, some people do, is because they don't exactly know what the problem is. They can't identify it. I am so happy when I get a chance to help walk a client through some big, scary emotion that they've been storing knowingly or unknowingly. And when they walk through that and come on the other side of it, their life is transformed. I'm Michelle Dominique, certified wellness coach and lymphatic drainage therapist, and I'm talking about free flow. It is a very simple yet effective tool that I've been using. I learned it to help myself through why am I stuck? You get to that place, why am I stuck? So being able to use this system, which includes essential oils, reflex points, and breath work to uncover some things that I didn't even realize were there. And it's exciting to be able to do that for my clients as well. I like to say that I'm the emotional support person, the emotional support coach to help guide them through this. And it's so don't minimize. People just kind of, you say emotions and everybody gets all like, sometimes it's not as bad as you think. And the biggest part that I found out are the ways that people don't attach emotional baggage to a behavior or a way of thinking in their lives that they don't like right now. Let me give you an example. I had a client not too long ago, within the last 12 months, who was referred to me for health coaching. When I heard her story, it was, and I've heard a lot of egregious medical stories, but this one was up there. This one was up there. And she had gone in for what should have been a very simple and routine procedure, only to wake up with family standing all around her bedside as they had all been called in, with the, hey, if you want to come, if you want to see her, come now kind of thing. Now, mind you, she went in for a simple procedure, something that's done on kids, and tonsillectomy. Really simple, should be in and out. And 48 hours later, it was a whole different story. 48 hours is when she came to herself, right? Only to find out that, it was a whole lot more to it. But nonetheless, nobody ever ever consulted her on it. The medical team just decided, well, since we're here, we're going to act and we're going to move forward. In fact, they had talked to her next of kin, the person that she brought with her, and just made it seem like this was a life or death, had to do it right then and there. Okay, whether they did or not is not the question, but the aftermath is what we're talking about today. The aftermath of emotions, the confusion, the betrayal, the sense of betrayal, the incomprehension, and more importantly, the way she was left. The emergency surgery left her completely deformed. So imagine waking up thinking you're going to be home in a couple hours and not waking up till 48 hours and then finding out that you're permanently disfigured and told of all the things that you'll never be able to do again. One of which was taste and the other was eat. No tasting, no swallowing. You went in for a simple tonsillectomy, and now you have a trach, told that you will never be able to swallow again, which means that you'll never be able to eat again. Trach and a feeding tube. Big emotions around that. Big emotions around that. And the story just kind of kept going. I'm not going to go through the whole story, but I wanted to give you just kind of the magnitude of how she started, how you start a thing and how you end a thing, how things started and how a thing ended was completely different. Not just that, there were a whole lot of other things along the way that just really left her completely emotionally and physically and financially wiped out. She had to adjust to a whole nother way of life now. So when I met her, it was several years after this happened. She still wasn't getting any kind of help in the way of her doctors. And so she was recommended to me for health coaching. But when we did this, I said, honey, how did you feel behind all of this, right? How did you feel? And it was interesting that no one had ever asked her to give voice to what this actually meant to her life. Everybody just kept telling her what she wouldn't be able to do, what you'll never be able to do, what you got to get used to, and your new normal, and da 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 da. But no one ever asked her. That's what I mean by repressed, unexpressed. Through talking with me, she explained to me that the biggest thing was how this changed her life was she just felt herself becoming more and more recluse. When you celebrate, when you gather, when you get together, what's it about? It's always around food. Let's go hang out. Food. Come over for the holidays. Food. We're going to barbecue. Food. All of these things that she can no longer enjoy. Even with family, she started finding herself saying no more and more and becoming more and more isolated. And that began to play on her mental state. If I'm going to be like this, what kind of life is this? So by using Free Flow, I was able to help her work through and process, digest, and get out all of the angst behind this big, scary emotion. And believe it or not, within the first 2 sessions, she was having revelation about, this emotion is attached to, or why I feel this way is because, I felt unheard. I felt exploited. I felt not listened to. And being able to connect the dots in the way that no one had asked her before. People are just saying, oh, she doesn't come out anymore. Oh, she doesn't like to leave the house. She did. She really did. But emotionally, she had a whole lot of turmoil that was, people were just seeing the physical side of it. She was thinking it was the physical side, but it wasn't working for her. So nonetheless, one of the most amazing stories was when she told me in one of our sessions, because every session I want to know what changed after your last session. And I was so elated when she told me she was sitting at home watching television and a commercial for one of her favorite eateries had come on. And she said, I was watching this commercial and I used to love eating at this place. And all of a sudden I noticed that my mouth started to water. That was something that, remember, she hasn't eaten in years, feeding tube. So she said, you know what? I got in the car and I drove over there and I ordered. It's like, you ordered? She's like, yep, I sure did. And I sat there and she said, when I put the bag in the car, my mouth started watering even more. She had not experienced, so in fact, one of the things that we dealt with health coaching wise was the dry mouth. She had a horribly dry mouth and chapped lips because there was nothing going in her mouth. There had been nothing going in her mouth for years and years. I don't understand that. Like, if my mouth is dry right now, years and years, I'm talking toothbrush, spit out, that's kind of it. Because remember, she can't swallow. You can't swallow, you don't have saliva. No saliva, your taste buds aren't fine. Like, all of this aspect of her olfactory, she wasn't even smelling food. It was all gone. It was all caught in this horrific situation that had unexpectedly happened and changed the trajectory of her life forever. So she gets the food. She says, I couldn't even make it home. I pulled over and I started to chew. Now, she wasn't able to swallow, but just being able to chew and taste flavor was huge for her. Huge for her. Because it unlocked a part of herself. That part that was hidden away, that was pushed away after the horrible diagnoses or prognosis after the surgery. It kept her from community, from being involved, from feeling seen and needed. And so after that episode, she started to not shy away from invitations. If her family was getting together, she wanted to be there. If they were going out to dinner, she didn't, it wasn't awkward anymore. Sure, she couldn't enjoy the food the way they were enjoying it, but for her, she could actually at least now enjoy the food. And she didn't have to feel like the odd man out. She didn't feel like everyone would have to make allowances for her. She could at least participate in the act of smelling food, getting that sensation going, and then at least putting it in her mouth to be able to taste flavor. That unlocked a whole new world to her that had been put away, where she could now get out and enjoy and be a part of and not just be stuck in this illness. Emotions hold a very powerful place in your life, whether you want to admit it or not. And with free flow, I am able to walk with you as your emotional support person. Hi, my name is Michelle Dominique, certified wellness coach and emotional support person. To sort through exactly what is holding you back. Now, the interesting thing is, she knew, she came to me with what was an obvious problem, right? This physical deformity that she now had, and the inhibitions and limitations, and how it was altering her health life. She never put together how deep seated the emotional part of it was. So it was beautiful to help walk her through this in a way that empowered her. So now she could identify, oh, if I'm feeling this kind of emotion, or I'm feeling this way, or, I'm starting to go back into myself and, oh, I don't know if I want to go, steps that she could use when she wasn't with me. Okay, this is not all about me being there for you all the time. It's about me helping you to feel empowered to beat down those big, scary emotions, helping you to reframe situations. Let me ask you this. What has held your emotions? What was holding your memory hostage? That one episode of that surgery, it was a big episode, but it was holding her whole community oriented, uh, um, social butterfly kind of person. It held that hostage. It just abrupted all of that. And she became this recluse kind of person that she didn't even recognize. She told me literally, I don't even recognize myself, not just physically, but emotionally. I don't recognize myself. This isn't who I was. Does that sound familiar? Are you saying that? Have you said that? I don't even know who I am anymore. Friend, a free flow session is just what you need. So make sure you reach out to me to schedule your absolutely free flow session. I'm used to saying wellness consultation, but it is about wellness, so that you can see how to reframe what once was some big, scary emotions. Let's just reframe that. Let's look at that from a different perspective. Let's help you to put that into perspective and not let it overrun your life. Sometimes you just need a little bit of encouragement. You need somebody to walk with you, to delve deep and to uncover some things that, may have been scary then, but that was because you didn't have understanding around it. Now that you can get understanding around that, now that you can see that from a panoramic point of view, it doesn't have to hold you back anymore. It was one of the most gratifying things in the 25 years that I've been doing this, to help her and see how she was able to transform her life to wondering what's left for me, moving into, I want to be in a relationship. I want to live my life to the fullest. The deformity may not go away, but what I'm not going to let die is my spirit. That was beautiful. Reach out to me. Transformation can happen. I know it was a big, scary thing. I know you didn't talk about it. Maybe you don't even know why. What is this? What is this? Let me help you safely explore that. Reach out to me today. I look forward to working with you. You deserve to be the absolute best version of yourself. You deserve that. And I'd like to help you get to that point. My name is Michelle Dominique. Be sure to share this video, by the way. There's someone else that you know who have experienced things that they've just packed it away. They haven't dealt with it. But it's affecting them in their present life. You can break free. You can be in control. You can take the big and scary off that emotion and make it manageable. I look forward to working with you. Reach out to me today.